today I'm going to be making a video where Turkey makes an empire in 2024. Let's just say that Turkey decides to go on a rampage, and while this is happening, all like things like the EU and NATO and the United Nations uh no longer exist, so Turkey can do whatever it wants. The first country they'll be invading is Cyprus. Now, shortly after their independence in 1974, Turkey invaded Cyprus, which caused the technical independence of the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus, which is not recognized by any UN member state except for Turkey. Cyprus is taken out pretty fast and is fully annexed by the Turks. The next country they'll be invading is Greece. Turkey starts pushing into Greece from their European land, and things aren't looking too well for Greece. They do manage to cause some pushback on the Turkish military, even nearly splitting the front in two. However, this just lets this part expand even more. And then eventually they connect, and they take all the panhandle of Greece. Things aren't looking too good for Greece right now. Eventually, like half of Greece is taken, and eventually all of mainland Greece is now Turkish. However, Athens is right here, so they don't surrender yet. Except they do surrender right now. Let's look at this peace treaty. So, unsurprisingly, we see full annexation of the Greeks. So, instead of invading more European countries like Macedonia or Bulgaria, Turkey starts to look east to the Caucasian region and decides to invade Armenia. And they also get help from the Azerbaijan. Yeah. Each nation starts their own front from their border, and Azerbaijan actually has a bigger front because they have a longer border with Armenia. And quickly the two fronts connect, capturing Yerevan in the process. And Armenia is taken out pretty quickly. Let's look at this peace treaty. So in this peace treaty, Armenia does escape or enter and is no longer on the world map. And is basically split 50-50 between Turkey and Azerbaijan. But then Turkey betrays them by invading them, as well as Georgia. So, uh, yeah, uh, Turkey starts pushing into Azerbaijan and Georgia, and eventually they capture the entire border between Armenia and Georgia. So now the countries can't help each other. Turkey takes all of Armenia's coast, and Turkey also makes a pretty good front line on the Iranian border with Azerbaijan and eventually completely cuts them off. And then they take their coast pretty soon after that. Now, this would probably happen faster than I'm illustrating because Turkey has the 11th best military in the world, even beating out countries like Egypt and Brazil. Turkey takes more of Azerbaijan and Georgia. And eventually Tbilisi is captured as well as Baku. So they both decide to surrender. Let's look at this peace treaty. So, unsurprisingly, we see full annexation of Georgia and Azerbaijan. So now Turkey looks south of the Caucasus region, and actually more southeast, west, and decides to invade Syria and Lebanon. So pretty quickly, Turkey captures all their coast, and Lebanon falls because they suck. And Turkey has a very good front line on the Syrians. And Syria is in a civil war right now, I think, so this makes that even worse for them. Yeah, Damascus is captured and Syria falls. Let's look at this peace treaty. So, in the peace treaty, most of Syria and all of Lebanon is taken over, while the rest is puppeted by the Turks. So, the next countries they invade are Iraq and Iran. So, yeah, Turkey makes a front line on their border, and they hold up a pretty good one, even capturing like this northern part of Iran, like their panhandle or something. They eventually cut Iran off from the Caspian Sea, and they start pushing into Iraq more. And yeah, eventually Baghdad is captured, and Iraq surrenders. So now only Iran remains. And Tehran, their capital, is like right here, so they're in a sticky situation. So yeah, Turkey starts taking the rest of their coastline and almost captures all of it. And they also make a pretty large spearhead towards their capital and eventually encircle it. And while this is happening, they also capture all their coast, so Iran is in trouble. However, they do push back the Turks and even break the circle. However, this leads the army from the west side of the circle to yeah, make a bigger circle. And eventually Tehran is captured. However, Iran does not surrender yet because they do not just surrender when their capital is taken, unlike Iraq. But yeah, Turkey keeps invading Iran until eventually they do surrender. So let's look at this peace treaty. So in this peace treaty, all of Iraq and most of Iran is annexed, with the rest of Iran becoming a puppet, and Kuwait feels threatened by the Turkish presence on their border that they just decide to join them. Also, Syria goes from being a puppet to a complete part of Turkey because Turkey feels like it. Anyways, Turkey keeps invading Middle East countries, with them now invading Jordan, Israel, and Palestine. This is the first time ever that Israel and Palestine have been in a war and are on the same side, so this might not work out great for them. So Turkey forms a front line on Jordan and Israel because they don't have a border with Palestine, at least not yet, which they do eventually get and capture them pretty quickly. Also capturing Jerusalem, which caused Israel to surrender. So now we only have Jordan, and then they push into Jordan from the Israeli border, and then eventually Amman is captured and Jordan surrenders. So let's look at this peace treaty. So unsurprisingly, we see full annexation of Jordan, Israel, and Palestine. So now, so now Turkey decides to push into Europe a bit more by invading Macedonia and Bulgaria. So they start their front line in Macedonia, and they eventually head east into Bulgaria, and they start a front line on their border. Pretty quickly, Skopje is captured, and Macedonia is captured within the first few months of the invasion. And Sofia, I believe, is like right here. So yeah, Bulgaria is not gonna last long either. Eventually, Sofia is quickly encircled, and Bulgaria does push back a bit. However, this does not help because they're only invading on the west, which causes the east to capture Sofia, which causes Bulgaria to surrender. So let's look at this peace treaty, shall we? Okay, so Macedonia and Bulgaria are fully annexed. So yeah, Turkey is already very big. However, they want to be bigger. So they decide to invade Saudi Arabia. Because why, you may be asking? Because they can. That's why. So anyways, they make a pretty massive front line on the border with Saudi Arabia. And Yemen also joins the war on their own side. And yeah, they also get a little bit of help from the Turks. So yeah, they push into Saudi Arabia with like the same force. And yeah, Turkey and Yemen all both push into Saudi Arabia insanely, and like their capital is probably like right there. I don't know. I don't even know how to pronounce it. Not gonna lie. But yeah. Anyways, Yemen is invading Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia is not in that good of a position. So they decide to surrender to the Turks. Let's look at this peace treaty. So here we see that Turkey gets about 1/3 of Saudi Arabia. Another like 2/4 or like half of Saudi Arabia is left to be independent. Then Yemen gets the rest. Yeah, Yemen gets the rest. So now it's time for the biggest invasion and last invasion of the video. The Russians. And there will be lots of sides, well, lots of countries on two different sides. So yeah, let me make that real quick. So this is what the war looks like. On Turkey's side, we have Turkey, obviously, Ukraine, Poland, and Finland. And on the blue team, we have Russia, Belarus, and Serbia. Yeah, things aren't looking so good for the blue team. So pretty quickly, Turkey captures like half of Serbia, and yeah, they take all of Serbia in like 3 weeks. And Poland takes Kaliningrad and and with the help of Ukraine, they capture a pretty big front line on Belarus. And Finland pushes into Russia. And they isolate this part of Russia from the rest of the country. So they yeah capture it because like 2 people live there. What are they gonna do? And Turkey again obviously also invades the Russians from Caucasia, as does Ukraine. Eventually, Minsk is captured and Belarus surrenders, which leaves just Russia. So with the help of each other, teamwork makes the dream work. They eventually establish one big front line on the Russian border. And Moscow is like right here, I think. I don't know, could be wrong. But yeah, the front line becomes even bigger, and like 90% of it exists because of the Turks who started this war and are the second, probably first now, strongest country in this war, behind, uh, ahead of Russia and Ukraine and Poland and Finland. But yeah, the red team gets very close to Moscow, just like the Germans did. This is looking very familiar. It's just missing Germany, lol. And eventually, Moscow is encircled. However, the Russians do manage to push back and even break the circle. However, this just encourages more pushback around Moscow. And eventually, they make an even bigger circle around Moscow. And eventually, the city is captured. However, Russia does not surrender quite yet. So, Turkey, Ukraine, Poland, and Finland must make them. Now, let's say in this scenario, Turkey's military or infantry size. Turkey's infantry size is like 5 million soldiers. And combining that with Ukraine, Poland, and Finland, which probably doesn't really make that much of a difference, that's huge. So eventually Russia surrenders. So let's look at this peace treaty. So here's what the peace treaty looks like. Turkey gets a pretty big chunk out of Serbia and Russia. Poland gets Kaliningrad and western Belarus, and Finland gets this peninsula, which I do not know the name of because I'm stupid. And Ukraine gets absolutely nothing. In fact, they actually lose land because technically Russia occupied Crimea for like 10 years now. So Turkey gets that because yes. So anyways, that will be the end of today's video. Like, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.